state oil company for Nigeria, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has picked 16 consortia for its new crude for fuel swap contracts for 1 year, starting in August. A report from Reuters listed the consortia to include major Swiss trading firms Trafigura, Vitol and Mekuna, oil major Total, as well as large Nigerian traders Sahara Energy, Wando, and MRS Oil. What does this all mean with respect to how much Nigeria pays for bringing in refined crude into the country? What does this mean for the pace of the refineries as far as their rehabilitation is concerned? What does this mean for the ongoing negotiations between Labour and the federal government on deregulation? Well, to answer all these questions, we have joining us right now Ayodeji Ebo, investment analyst with Chapel Hill Denham. Ayodeji, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So as far as an overview of the crude oil swap deal, how should these deals be viewed? Are they a temporary measure for Nigeria? They've been around for a few years now. How do you categorize them?
Yes, I think we need to find a way to see how we want to quickly get over this, because typically what the deal is all about, the swap deal, is that we're giving crude to someone that would have promised us based on an arrangement, and will give us the petroleum products. So I feel that there's a lot of value that we may be able to get if we're able to either we're refining or we're even selling directly in the market than just having it as a swap arrangement, because it's typically the major area where you really may not really understand in terms of what quantity do you swap, what quantity of crude do you swap for the petroleum product, especially here, more of our consumption is more of PMS. So we believe that there needs to be a focus for us to be able to get more value for our products and also earn more revenue from this product. The swap deal, which I think, yes, is an arrangement that there's been a lot of savings from it compared to the old arrangement. But we believe that this oil swap deal needs to we need to sort this out as soon as possible in terms of looking internally and seeing how we can produce and not depend on the swap arrangement.
Thank you so much. In an interview last year, NNPC Group Managing Director Amela Kyari said the direct sale, direct purchase had resulted in savings of more than $1 billion a year since its introduction. Now, perhaps this is an obvious question, but would we be saving more with working refineries?
Yes, very definitely we'll be able to save more because when you look at in terms of the value chain, it means the outflow or leakages would also be curtailed. So and it also limits in terms of our exposure to fluctuation in prices. So I feel that if we need to focus on having our own refineries, yes, I know there are a lot of licenses that have been issued for the modular refineries. We don't know how much in terms of the production they are able to achieve so far now, and there needs to be a deliberate effort. While we know the Dangote refinery, which would solve once it comes upstream, will solve a lot of major problems in terms of importation of PMS. And if we're able to resolve that, even for the CBN, would also take a backseat, feel a bit relaxed, because when you look at the demand for FX, in terms of the total FX, you would discover that it's also a major portion of it. So there's a need. It's going to be an overhauling those processes, and that would have a major savings for Nigeria beyond the savings for the direct sales method. The $1 billion that the NNPC MD has claimed that they are saving, I believe that there are a lot of other savings that we can make across the value chain.
Great stuff. There's also been comments about the level of transparency of the direct sale, direct purchase program. What do you make of it? Can the process be more transparent, or is it transparent enough as it is?
Okay, I think based on what I understand, based on the process, there's always the bidding process where you submit the expression of interest. and before eventually select those that emerge as successful. Maybe the process, maybe what may in terms of maybe the unveiling. I won't want to speak much into that because I'm not really involved in terms of that process of unveiling how they emerge as the winner, and in terms of also the criteria, if it's really very explicit, such that even before submitting your bids, you should know whether you have that chance of emerging as one of the winners.
Thank you so much. Labor unions have said refineries should be fixed before the downstream sector can be fully deregulated. What do you make of their argument as far as the deregulation debates, negotiations are concerned?
So I think in my view, yes, the labor union are fighting for the right cause, also for the masses. But if we look at in terms of the subsidies, who are those that are benefiting from this subsidy? Is those that can even afford to buy the car, afford to use generators that are benefiting from the subsidy. So while there needs to be a focus in terms of ensuring that we have a working refinery in Nigeria, so that in terms of cost of PMS would also be reduced, we need to also understand who benefits. And when you look at, based on I think there was a letter that the NNPC sent to the Accountant General in terms of where they currently, through under recovery, that they paid for the subsidy. And when you look at the impact, so we know for government, it is based on what they earn, they are also able to invest. When you look at capital expenditure, we account for this year about 29% of the budget, is always at the receiving end. Once governments don't receive, or once they are unable to meet up with their revenue, you always see that challenge in terms of implementation. So at the end of the day, I feel that the masses may be the one that may feel this brunt. And when you also want to look at it from the acclaim number for consumption, we may actually be supporting or subsidizing neighboring countries in terms of their usage. So I feel that they may need to sit down and look at this critically, why they give a mandate and timeline in terms of when refineries should work or should be functional. There also needs to be that consideration in terms of who benefits from these subsidies, so that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot.
Ayodeji Ebo, investment analyst with Chapel Hill Denham, thank you so much for joining us to talk about the crude oil swap deal. Appreciate your time.